Who would have thought that a debating competition would lead to an exploration of what it means to be yourself in a sci-fi setting? Well, of course we must have a sci-fi setting. But it is Star Trek after all. Debating skills, quotes from the drumhead,
one of the very best episodes of TNG,
and a discovery that the entire Klingon race is on the brink of extinction, with Kronos gone, billions dead, survivors in refugee camps.
So, hold on a second, they're redoing Star Trek 6 now?
Well, what do you mean?
Star Trek 6 was an allegory based on the collapse of the Soviet Union and started with Praxis, a moon of Kronos exploding, leading to a contamination of the Klingons' homeworld's atmosphere. They had to evacuate and everything, and the Federation debated whether to help or not. Sounds the same to me.
Well, they must have fixed those issues because by the time TNG happened, Kronos was once again the Klingon homeworld. But it's not the same now anyway. It wasn't a moon exploding, it was all the dilithium reactors on the planet going kaboom because of the burn.
Potato, potato. Klingons lost Kronos again and are now a refugee race.
Like the Romulans were in the Picard series.
Oh, please don't remind me of that show. But yeah, you have a point. Two massive star empires controlling countless worlds, both brought to their knees by the destruction of their homeworlds. Couldn't they just move to one of the other planets they have?
Well, I'm guessing that in this particular case, the exploding dilithium decimated all their planets? The thing is, that's what happened, and the Klingons have been refugees ever since. With Jaden being the only Klingon in Starfleet Academy. Actually, the whole story is pretty much about him. We get to know his family and his brother.
And his 3 parents.
3 parents?
2 fathers, 1 mother.
I guess having an extra pair of hands would always be useful.
I bet.
So, we knew Jaden wasn't your typical Klingon. He's so unsure of himself he can't even debate properly at first.
Makes you wonder how he managed to get into Starfleet Academy in the first place.
Well, they let someone who swallowed their comm badge on the first day. I don't think the requirements for entry are as stringent as they used to be.
Fair.
And to hammer the fact that this is a Jaden story, his parents are feared dead while the ship carrying the last 8 Klingon houses is feared lost with all hands, and everyone's worried about what's to become of the Klingons. Well, there's a planet similar to Kronos available. But it's in Federation territory, and the Klingons would see any offer from the Federation as charity and would reject it instantly.
Well, the solution's obvious, isn't it?
I thought of it too. It's pretty much staring us in the face. Heck, even when Aki meets her old flame, Obel Wojak, who's now kind of the unofficial leader of what's left of the Klingons, it's clear what they have to do to get the Klingons to Fan Alpha, that ideal planet for them. But they don't see it. But that's because Jaden has to discover who he is first.
Okay, I know both events take place in the same episode, but neither should actually depend on the other. Now, don't get me wrong, I thought Jaden's journey of self-discovery was excellent. A pacifist Klingon, finding a home in the Federation, and reconciling both cultures within himself is a really good and satisfying message. But are you seriously telling me none of the diplomats, captains, or admirals could have figured out this relatively simple solution to a species' stubborn dilemma?
Apparently not.
I know this is sci-fi, but that was ridiculous.
On the plus side, I think the main characters worked extremely well here, how they look after one another and do their best to help one another. It was nice to see that after 3 episodes of conflict, they're starting to get along and respect one another. And the flashback gave more depth to Jaden. Oh, well, personally, I liked how Lura Thok came and spoke to him and made him realize what his father did for him.
Hang on, no. Okay, this would have been fine for the audience to hear because we may not know Klingon behavior, but Jaden is a Klingon. How could he have not realized that that's what his father did? That he didn't miss the kill shot out of anger, but out of recognition that Jaden should forge his own path? He was born into that culture, so why did Thok have to tell him that for him to realize it?
That did undermine that moment, I agree.
And you couple that with a blatantly obvious resolution to the Klingon refugee problem.
It was a nice resolution, though.
That's not the point, Gigi. Anyone should have figured it out. Aki should have figured it out. The Klingon leader should have come up with it. Instead, they all twiddled their thumbs until Jaden thought of it himself. Weak, man.
Well, maybe he had to come up with it because it was his story this episode?
As I said, weak. Oh, and the Admiral hopes the Klingon gods will help them? How does he not know the Klingons killed their gods?
They were more trouble than they were worth. So, it's a mixed bag. On the one hand, The focus on Jaden and his growth in this episode was very satisfying, but on the other, the refugee crisis was not his to resolve, and others should have seen the solution before he did.
It was as plain as the ridges on a Klingon's forehead.
One thing I liked was the quote from the Doctor: "Don't compound tragedy with ignorance." Words to live by, especially in this current climate.
I'm
awarding Vox in Excelso 2.5 paws. Tell me, what do you think of this episode? Do share your thoughts in the comments, and if you like what we do,
and how we do it,
and you feel you'd like to help us out,
please hit the join button and become a channel member.
please consider joining our Patreon. We'll leave a link to it down in the description. Thanks for watching. See you all next time, and until then, live long
And wibbly wobbly, timey-wimey.
Well, they must have fixed those issues, because by the time TNG happened, Kronos was once again the Klingon.